Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're going to be talking about what, in my opinion, is the most underrated set for Magic the Gathering. We're talking about specifically for Commander. That's where we kind of focus on here on my channel because Commander is all I play because it's what I enjoy. So we're going to be talking about what, in my opinion, is that most underrated set. Talk about, a few of the specific cards, but in this set, they honestly absolutely cooked. The cards are all amazing. It was an incredibly fun set to draft and play that way, as well as the precons that came alongside it were just insanely great. I really enjoy it for all of those. I've done all of those things, but before we get into it, make sure that you do head on down, like the video, subscribe, share the video around and everything like that, and also let me know if you agree with my opinion or if there is another set that you think is more underrated. Honestly, I think that this set got kind of a bad rap. A lot of people talked about the fact they didn't really like it, and I think from there it kind of spiraled out of control to the point that I don't completely understand what people's issue with it was. So the set that we're talking about is the Battle for Baldur's Gate set. As I said, the actual set was really great. I've drafted it a few times and it was incredibly fun. Between the kind of background mechanic, which is a very interesting way to kind of do partners, as well as the actual kind of precons are really great too. I think all of the precons have some really great stuff in them. Overall, the cards were just really great. And the good thing about the set was that it's not one of those sets that kind of at the very top you've got a whole bunch of really great and valuable cards, but then it drops off really quickly. There's a lot of kind of like those middle value cards in here as well that end up being staples and really great in so many different decks. So the first thing we're looking at here are the different dragons. For each color, there was a new dragon. So for example, you got green, which does +1/+1s. You had white, which created fairy dragon tokens. Blue, card draw. Black, bring things back to the battlefield. And then red, that's about creating treasures. Each of them are, whenever they deal combat damage, roll a d20. And honestly, all of them can find use in a whole bunch of different decks. Whether it's, a deck based around combat damage or a dragon based deck, or, if you've got, say, for example, the green one, a +1/+1 deck, or, a card draw deck, all of them can find use in a lot of different decks and are really great, as well as they've got some amazing art, right? Like the kind of borderless arts for them are all insanely good. I've got the borderless art for the bronze dragon here, and huge shout out to my friend for pulling it for me. They honestly are all insanely useful. The copper dragon is worth the most with $60+ for it, but all of them are worth a bit, and just because of the fact that they are so universal and able to fit into so many different decks. Next, we've got the Displacer Kitten, which is one of my wife's favorite cards because it's just so adorable. A card that can fit into a lot of different flicker decks, because not just like whenever, you cast non-creature spells. Non-creature spells is basically anything except for creatures. So if you put an enchant out, if you, play a battle for whatever reason, if you cast an instant or sorcery or anything like that, you get to flicker something, and you can do that, It also returns immediately, which is really great, not at the end of turn or anything like that. So you can do a whole bunch of flicker shenanigans with lots of really kind of, I think one of the scene is like Eternal Witness. With Eternal Witness, you kind of flicker and stuff with Displacer Kitten and do some great things. Lots of different ways you can make use of that. So that's a huge archetype that kind of not relies on, but this is one of the big kind of staples with it. Next is the morphic pool, or more specifically talking about just the overall cycle of the Battle Bond lands. Battle Bond lands in Commander are insanely good. Generally, 99 times out of 100, this is going to be entering untapped, right? It's one of the best ways to be able to get a dual color land on the battlefield that doesn't hurt you. So, you know, whether it's like, you know, not a pain land or anything like that. There's no cost for this. It's just play it and then boom, it's active because you've got 2 or more opponents. All of them, I think, are within Battle for Baldur's Gate, or at least, you know, I think most of them are. And I've got a few of them that have kind of slotted into different decks. Yeah, I believe all of them are because, you know, Morphic Pool isn't, but then I know Underground Stadium is as well. No, half of them are, that's right. The ally ones are within Baldur's Gate. So you've got, you know, Sea of Clouds, Blue-White, Dimir, and then you've got Rakdos, Gruul, and Selesnya. All of those are within there. So a really kind of great cycle for you to be able to pull, and always going to be useful. We've got the Battle Angels of Tyr, a lot of different decks that can make use of this, whether it's going to make use of the fact that it's got Myriad, whether it's just making use of drawing cards or, you know, creating treasures. There's lots of different decks that you're going to be able to make use of this in. So, you know, that's essentially why it's so up there in price, because of how many different decks you can make use of it in. Same with Carlac, to be honest, just an extra combat. You know, Carlac overall is just the best character in Baldur's Gate. So, you know, she's an instant add into a lot of decks for me, but the card as well is just really nice. Like, looking at so many different decks, you can potentially make use of just getting this extra combat, and the first strike as well to kind of go alongside that to get with that extra combat is really good. We've got the Reflecting Pools showing up here, which has seen reprints in other areas as well. But Reflecting Pool, similar to why, you know, these cards are so expensive up here. The only reason this one's probably cheaper is because it has had a few more reprints. But, you know, just being able to create a mana base on any land that you've got, if you've got, you know, let's say you've got the Morphic Pool out there, boom, you can create black and blue with that. We've got Minsk and Boo, again, can fit into a lot of different decks and can also be a commander as well. Anything that's got creatures with trample and haste, so, you know, you're in Gruul colors, that's going to be a lot of different things. You can also do it with anything that you're going to be sacking as well. Do a lot of different kind of shenanigans here with creating the Boo token and throwing that at everyone. We've got Tasha, the Witch Queen, stealing. You know, we've got Don Andreas, could easily use her. Any kind of theft deck could make a lot of use of her, especially because, you know, black blue is where the theft decks kind of live in. We've got Archivist of Ogma. Lots of different ways to kind of make use of the fact that, or not even make use of, you don't even need to make use of it. People are going to be searching their decks all the time within EDH. So, you know, anytime someone's going to find a land or they've used a tutor or anything like that, you're going to be able to gain life and draw cards. Monster Manual, you want to cheat things out, a great way to be able to do this. You know, I've got a few decks that I would love to have this in, but unfortunately I only have one of them, so it's currently slotted into I want to say Pantlaza, because I can just cheat out big things. It's just a perfect way to be able to cheat things out. We've got Blade of Cells, any kind of deck built around Myriad or like just big creatures and stuff, you can make use of this with. Any kind of Voltron deck as well, you can make use of this with. We've got Jaheira token decks, any token deck with green. I think this is currently within my glue and food deck, so, you know, perfect within food decks and stuff, but you can make use of it in a lot of different decks if they're just going to create tokens. We've got Descent into Avernus, which just got, like, you know, huge deck from the new Abika. The new Abika can make a huge amount of use for this, but currently I've got it within my Vihan deck because, you know, creating treasures, I'm creating essentially creatures with this, being able to also damage a whole bunch of people. This is also a card that I would love to put within my Abaddon deck to be able to get a huge amount of damage out on people at the start, but I unfortunately only have one copy of it. And then Kindred Discovery, finally. Anytime you've got like a blue or a deck that's got blue in it and you're focusing on one particular creature type, then you can make use of that there. I also talked briefly about the different precons. They've got a really great, like each of them has some great cards in it, as well as being like decks that can be upgraded and played really well. So the Gnarlier one, all based around the party mechanic, and it also has like the Grim Hireling in it, which is huge. Precons is a really great kind of commander for it as well. A lot of kind of great cards overall within them, like the artifacts. You've got like a Skull Clamp in here, Maskwood Nexus. We've got the Mind Flayers built around horrors and milling people. Not huge on kind of like the new cards on here. I think there's like a couple though that's still huge, like Zelix and stuff. A lot of kind of great cards overall though that you can make use of. The Draconic Descent one, which isn't mostly built around dragons, does have like a dragon as a subtype, but most around goading. So when the new goading deck came out, the Blame Game one, Baloth was a perfect card for that, as well as, you know, just being overall a very fun deck to play. And then Exit for Exile, we've talked about previously, having some really great cards too. All of the precons overall are just really great. Again, this set is going on clearance in some places. You can grab, you know, some of the set, you can grab some of like the precons. Why not? Just it's a very, very fun set, and it's honestly like probably the set that I've had the most fun kind of drafting and playing limited with. Like when I was thinking about, you know, this versus, say, Commander Masters, I had just so much more fun with Baldur's Gate as compared to Commander Masters. And, you know, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Do you agree with me or not? I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and goodbye.